guys, it is Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. Got a massive hit from Queen today. We learned how to do You're My Best Friend. So this was obviously it's written by John Deacon and originally played on a Wurlitzer electric piano. This is an arrangement. Obviously we can't do the exact chord voicings that you do on an electric piano for the guitar, but it works pretty well on the guitar. Not that hard to play. It's got some, as most Queen songs do, has some interesting harmony. They kind of go all out, especially in the second verse here, and which is the same chords under the solo and stuff. I'm not going to be doing the solos and all that stuff. I'm just kind of focusing on the chords to the song, and this is my own arrangement of it. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. Now, before I get into it, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell. Kind of helps you get notified, obviously. And if you watch the videos, it'll notify you even more. I found that out. If you really want to support what I do on YouTube, continue with these song lessons, the best way to keep them coming is actually join my Guitar Academy. And you're going to see a link to that in the description below. That link will give you a free 7-day trial of the Academy, which gives you full access to all of my guitar courses, from courses for complete beginners to more advanced courses on technique, improvisation, ear training, theory, guitar tone. I'm there every Saturday. It's like a live stream for Academy members can ask me questions in real time. And it's available on all major app platforms. So hopefully you will check it out. Free link by clicking that link, free 7-day trial by clicking that link below. All right, let's jump into this track here. So I'm just kind of doing a little arrangement, trying to make everything sound decent on one kind of acoustic guitar. So I'm going to start here with this. So, and then that's really the intro, and the verse comes in right there. So what I'm doing to start is just gonna get basing this around a C chord, but I'm just picking the top note, so that first fret on the B string, and then over to the third fret on the low E string. So I pick this top note and then 4 times on the bottom note. And do that again. Kind of let them ring together. And then what we do is basically, it's a D minor over C. You can just call it a D minor 7th and third version or whatever, but it's easier just say keep holding this C, play a D minor chord on top of it. So that's the first fret on the IE, third fret on the B, and second fret there on the G. So just, and then back down to this, resolve it to this regular C major chord. So we have this. The vocals come in and we get to verse 1. Now verse 1 is pretty much just that chord, that D minor over C to the C done like 5 times. All right, so when you resolve that like the 5th time there, we go to the chorus. I'm calling this the chorus at least. It looks like this. That little intro. All right, so this moves around quite a bit. It's pretty basic chords, but I'm not using like what you would say a typical standard voicing every time, because I'm trying to get it closer to the voicing that's being used on the electric piano. So that doesn't mean, like, for instance, in this chorus, instead of playing a full D major, I'm playing it like this, because I want the D note to be on top, because that's the melody note, the top note in the voicing that you're hearing on the original recording. So we're still playing a D major chord, but maybe just in ways that you're not used to doing. So we start though with a C major chord, and then we're gonna do this. There's a little melody in there, so what we're gonna do to make that happen, we're gonna play a G major chord, so just the 3rd fret on the low E, 2nd fret there on the A, open D, open G, and open B. So just strum that far, and then take the 1st fret on the B string, and then back down to the open B. So it is. From there, go to an A minor chord. And there, we're going to go to that D major chord. So you can play like a normal D, but I like to play like this. It also prepares me for what's coming later on the song, where we do have to have kind of a bass note on the low E string with your thumb to kind of really make it sound like the recording. So this, you don't really have to. You can have actually the open A string if you want, kind of thickens up the sound. 4th fret there on the D, 2nd on the G, and 3rd on the B. It's just a D major chord, but it has that note on top, which sounds better. And then you can go to just a regular F major to G major bar chords. I'm doing the thumbed versions, of course, because that's gonna, the second time through this progression, you're gonna see why I'm doing this. But you can really cheat it and just play the top strings, like the high E string and the B string barred at the 1st fret, 2nd on the G, 3rd on the D, and then just move that up 2 frets to the G major. Or you can do it like I'm doing. I'm adding that note on the low E string to the bass note at the 1st fret there, and I'm muting the A string with the tip of my ring finger there, and then just move that up to a G. So the first half, the first half of the chorus looks like this. Then you start doing the same thing again. It's just going to have an extension on the end of it. Right here. All right, so that little extension there. So after you go from that F to G the second time around, you're going to move this note up to the 4th fret on the low E string. Basically an E major chord in first inversion. So I'm playing that note on the 4th fret there on the low E string with my thumb, 6th fret there on the D string, 4th fret on the G string, and 5th fret there on the B. So then to it's just an A minor, kind of hit that twice, and then go to that same little melody that we did over that G chord. Takes us down to an F major. Now you're going to want to play this F major at the end of the chorus like a regular F major full bar chord. So it's the 1st fret, full bar of the 1st fret, 2nd on the G, and 3rd on the D and the A. So you want to play like this because we're going to make it an F minor too. But so from that major to minor, just lifting up that middle finger. So all together for the chorus. Then we get to the intro again, basically. Same thing we did in the intro. Immediately when we did this C chord in that first time we get to the C chord in the intro, it takes us to verse 2, which is a lot crazier chord progression. Looks like this. Back to that same. So what are those chords that happen in verse 2? So it starts obviously with that C chord. Kind of each chord is really a lot of times hit twice. So we're going to go from there to this C augmented chord with the 5th and the bass. So that's going to be the 4th fret there on the low E. I'm muting the open A string at the bottom of that. I'm kind of muting all the strings right there underneath this. So just playing that 4th fret on the low E. And then in front of that mute, I'm going to play the 6th fret there on the D string, 5th on the G, and 5th on the B. Do this. From there, we're going to move up to an A minor bar chord. So that's a full bar to 5th fret, with the 7th fret on the D and the 7th fret on the A. Now from there, we're going to go to a C dominant 7th chord with B flat in the bass. So that's pretty easy transition from this A minor chord. We just basically place the middle finger there at the 6th fret there on the low E string, and then move the pinky up from the 7th fret on the D to the 8th. And you're just going to want to pick across to the B string. You don't want to get that note in there. So we have this. From there, we're back to that F major to the F minor. And then we're going to go off into another series of interesting chords. We're going to start here with a G dominant 7th chord. So that's a full bar at the 3rd fret with the 4th fret in front of it on the G, and then the 5th fret on the A. That like twice. And then we're going to an E dominant 7th chord with G sharp in the bass. Kind of a fun way to play that is the 4th fret there on the low E string, and you're muting the A. Kind of tricky too. The 2nd fret there on the D, 4th fret there on the G, and then the 3rd fret there on the B string. You can get the high E in there if you want to. So that's a maneuver you don't want to practice. Just like kind of isolate it and practice it a little bit. From there to the regular A minor and the regular D. That F sharp on top. Pretty easy there. And then we're going to end it by going to a G6 chord and resolve it to that same G7. So that G6, once again, you'll play the 3rd fret on the low E string, mute the other strings with the bottom of the index, and then in front of that mute the 5th fret on the D, 4th fret on the G, and the 5th fret there on the B. So you can strum everything, and all the A and the high E that you don't want to be heard is muted. And then you'll just go to the G7 that we just did. So nothing's muted now. So all together for that verse, the 2nd verse progression. Easy enough, goes back to that intro, and the same intro, same progression, just going as we did it for verse 1. So the next verse is just like verse 1, so it's really simple. And then into the same chorus that we did before, and then back to the same intro. And then it goes to the kind of this quick little solo section, which is played under the verse 2 chords. Okay, so it's pretty much they kept doing the same order. They went intro, verse 1, chorus, intro, verse 2, intro, verse 1, chorus, intro, verse 2. And then that gets us to the 2-minute and 19-second mark. And there's a section here where I just call this kind of a chorus variation. So that's at the 2-minute and 19-second mark, and it looks like this. And then it gets to the outro here, which I'll do in a second. So that's just basically strumming a C major chord for 8 beats. And then go straight to that F minor, not going F major, F minor, just go straight to the F minor. Strum it once and let it ring for 4 beats. So it is. And then back to the C major for 4 beats, strumming that. And back to the F minor, just held for 4 beats. And then we get to this outro section, which looks like this. right, so that is basically just strumming C major for like 4 beats. And then into that same D minor over C to C progression. So do that twice. And then we have this last little ending, which is a G major chord in first inversion. So it's just the easiest way to play this. It's like this. So you're just playing the second fret there on the A, open D, open G, open B. So just those 4 middle strings, and then to a C major chord. So it just does that. So when you get to the C, you'll strum that, but when you get to the G would be in the bass, just hit that once. So you can do that 4 times. And the 4th time, just end on that C. All right, it's a great song. It's got some great chord workout as well too. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.